Hello, accountability buddies. This is vlog number 54, and you might notice that I'm in a whole new location. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to see this outside the car windows. I am at Salem Willows. I left super early for work today. The sun feels like it's still rising. But I decided to leave super early for work so that I could come out here, do a long walk before work, and still get to work on time, because we're supposed to have our first 85-degree day of the year today, which is crazy to think about because it's only April. Just doesn't bode well for this summer. In terms of heat up here, it's not usually 85 in April at all. I mean, you might have like a day at the very end of April, but we're in the middle-ish, early middle of April, and we're going to have an 85-degree day. And so I thought I'd come out to the Willows while it was still nice and cool, get my walk in before work, and then head in. The Willows, if you've never been here, is kind of like a family-friendly, touristy spot with beaches. There's like a little strip mall thing with restaurants and games and things like that for kids. There's putt-putt golf, variety of other things, but there's also basketball courts, tennis courts, giant field for playing soccer and other games. There's a beach that's okay for swimming, and like there are docks where you can take, kayaks and canoes off of, as well as like paddle boards, and also places to rent those things here. Not that I'm being sponsored as a promotion for the Willows, but I've always really liked the Willows. It's kind of a fun place. It has it's like a slice out of time. Like, I feel like it's like probably huge in the 50s out here. And also there's just great picnic locations. They've got a half shell, so they have concerts out here. They have a jazz festival, that's actually pretty big, that's located here. But as I can tell already, it's big with, joggers and walkers in the morning, just getting in doing the same thing I'm doing. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to kind of a change of pace in the walk. Let's see, what's kind of going on with the type 2 diabetes. I've been doing some research in terms of eating and stabilizing blood sugar, and especially as it's related to exercise, because I've noticed a few things in terms of when I was exercising, instead of my blood sugar dropping, it spiked really high. So I was looking at that and trying to figure out the reasons, and it's the difference between aerobic and anaerobic exercise. So when you're doing, this is my understanding, again, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a therapist. My understanding of what I've been reading is that when you do aerobic exercise, it uses up the glucose in your bloodstream, and lowers your blood sugar. Whereas anaerobic exercise releases blood sugar that's stored in the body, and spikes the blood sugar for a period of time. And then as you cool down, the blood sugar drops back down. So you can see your blood sugar go up and down depending on the type of exercise you're doing. And this is, from what I've read, really common with riding a bike or cycling, because with bicycling, you're not staying in just that anaerobic zone, because you are increasing your heart rate and you're using larger parts of muscles. You're going into anaerobic exercise. So what people say is that if you use a continuous blood glucose monitor, you actually see some pretty large fluctuations in blood sugar. So I was kind of freaked out because my blood sugar was high in the middle of my bike ride and then high again at the end, and it's because of the type of exercise I'd been doing. It did lower quite a bit and get back into that normal, like what I consider my normal range of between 100 and 130. And that's just sort of where my blood sugar sits now, in that normal range. And so I'm continuing to do some reading and research and kind of like what I'm supposed to do for my blood sugar. I do feel like my blood sugars are way more stabilized now than they were, before. So part of that is because I'm off of the glipizide, which can cause lower blood sugars and extremely low blood sugars. I never had extremely low blood sugars. The lowest reading I ever had on glipizide was 50. And that was when I was in the middle of a relatively long walk where I'd been walking pretty hard. So that's just like, now that I'm only on the Ribelsis for the diabetes, and I'm eating better and I'm exercising, the blood sugar is just kind of like staying around like between 80 and 130 most of the time. I've had a few like morning readings of around 140, which is fine. But yeah, it's just kind of like, it's an interesting thing. And again, like I've mentioned this before, I kind of feel like I'm doing a science experiment, with my body. So yeah, I will admit I was a little worried about the big spike in the blood sugar until I did some reading. So that made me feel a lot better about the readings that I did get. So, I think if you are also, exercising and you're seeing big spikes, it's that anaerobic versus aerobic activities. So yeah, so that's that. Also, I've mentioned this yesterday in the episode I recorded yesterday that I've been re-recording for like 3 days, and finally loaded this morning. One of the things that I've been struggling with is like, I get home, I download the footage for the day, and then I struggle to get that like compiled into a video. Not really, I don't struggle with that. I make the videos and then they just sit on my laptop and I start loading them to YouTube and then I forget to hit publish. And I keep doing that. I was able to, remember to hit publish. And as part of it is that I wasn't rushing this morning, whereas the last few mornings, I really felt like I was rushing in the morning. So yeah, just trying to figure out like the workflow in terms of like, how do I get to bed? How do I eat properly? How do I get to bed? How do I fall asleep? And part of what I'm realizing is like, given the time frame of like when I'm naturally waking up and when I'm falling asleep and when I'm eating, is like I'm eating way too close to when I'm going to bed. Like I need to eat earlier for my body. But I can't do that because I'm still at work. So just kind of like thinking about like how I can tweak things to make that work better. Another positive thing is that they scheduled, a day off. So I'm going to have next Friday off of work entirely. So instead of having a 2-day weekend, I'm going to have a 3-day weekend, which is awesome. So I'll be able to, I'm hoping to plan, a longer bike ride. I'm hoping to get my mileage up to 10 miles this weekend. I'm going to push myself and, hopefully like next weekend, I'll be able to do 10 miles pretty easily. If not longer. So this weekend I do have I got errands to run as usual, but then I'm also meeting up with a friend on Saturday evening. And then Sunday morning, I'm meeting up with another friend. And interestingly enough, in like totally opposite directions from my home. One person I'm meeting relatively close. The other person I'm meeting up in Ipswich, which is not far away. It just feels like it's far away because there's no real direct path. But anyway, hopefully I'll be getting those bike mileages up into something that feels a little longer. I feel like I'm in training for something, but I'm too old for that. Well, actually I'm not. You know, there are a lot of people over 45 and over 50 who start engaging in these kinds of activities like long distance cycling. And there are also heavier women who engage in long distance endurance athletics. So if they can do it, I can do it, right? Like, yeah. So, all right, with that, I am going to end this vlog here. I'm going to roll up the car windows and I am going to go get in my walk. I'm not sure how long I'm going to get to walk for. I think I'm going to be able to get a good hour-long walk. So it means I'm going to get a couple of miles in here. And that's going to be cool. All right. Maybe I'll even get to shoot some video. There are quite a few people out here, and like I've always said, I feel awkward about doing that. But anyway, I'm going to leave this here, stop rambling, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.